The phone in your pocket right now is more powerful than the computers that sent humans to the moon. Most people use that power for reels, memes, and messages. But cybersecurity professionals use it for something completely different, breaking into networks, finding vulnerabilities, and testing the security of everything around us. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're doing something special. I'm going to show you 14 Android apps that can turn your smartphone into a full penetration testing lab. Some of these are famous, some are hidden gems, and all of them are used by real security experts every single day. Now, before we start, one important thing. Everything you're about to see is for education, for testing your own devices, and for work you're authorized to do. Using these tools against someone else's phone or network without permission is illegal, and honestly, it ruins it for everyone who does this professionally. So stay curious, stay ethical, and let's get into it. Don't forget to drop a like if you want more content like this. Chapter 1, Termux. We're starting with the one app that makes almost everything else possible, Termux. And yes, I know some of you are going to type it wrong in the comments. It's Termux with an X at the end. Think of Termux as a tiny Linux computer living inside your Android device. No root required, no complicated setup. You install it, open it, and suddenly you have a terminal with access to thousands of Linux packages. Want Python for scripting? Done. Want Nmap for scanning? Done. Want to run Metasploit? Believe it or not, people have done it on a phone. What makes Termux special is that it's not a hacking tool by itself, it's a platform. It's the workbench where you put all your other tools together. You can write automation scripts, build small web servers, manage files, transfer data, even host a full website right from your pocket. If you're new to this world, Termux is where you should start. It teaches you the command line, which is the language of every serious security professional. Master this one app and everything else on this list becomes 10 times easier. Chapter 2. NetHunter. If Termux is the workbench, NetHunter is the full workshop. NetHunter is an official project from the Kali Linux team, and it literally puts Kali on your Android device. Now, there's an important detail here. NetHunter comes in a few different flavors. There's a version that works without root on many devices, but the full experience, the really powerful stuff, needs a supported device and root access. So before you install it, check the official NetHunter website to see if your phone is on the supported list. What can you do with it? Everything you can do on a desktop. Kali machine. Network reconnaissance, port scanning, vulnerability assessment, exploitation frameworks, post-exploitation, it's all there. The Kali team also includes something called the NetHunter App Store, which makes it easy to find mobile-friendly security tools. The best part is that NetHunter supports external Wi-Fi adapters, so you can do wireless attacks that your phone's built-in chip simply can't handle. That turns your phone into a serious piece of offensive security hardware. Chapter 3. Nmap. Every security professional on the planet has used Nmap at some point. It's been around for decades, it runs on almost everything, and yes, it works on Android through Termux. Nmap is short for Network Mapper, and it does exactly what the name says, it maps networks. Give it an IP address or a range, and it will tell you which devices are alive, which ports are open, what services are running on those ports, and even what operating system the target is running. Why does this matter? Because open ports and running services are the front doors of every computer on a network. Before you can test a system, you need to know what doors exist. That's called reconnaissance, and Nmap is the king of it. Here's a quick example. A simple scan like Nmap, SV192.168.1.24 will show you every device on your home network, what software they're running, and even version numbers. And version numbers matter, because outdated versions mean known vulnerabilities. That's how penetration testers build their attack plans, one scan at a time. Chapter 4. Fing. The friendly network detective. If Nmap feels too technical, Fing is the friendlier cousin. It's a network scanner designed for regular people, but don't let that fool you. IT professionals use it all the time. Fing scans your Wi-Fi network and shows you every connected device, complete with IP address, MAC address, device manufacturer, and in many cases, the exact model of the device. You open the app, hit scan, and within seconds you have a complete census of everything on your network. This is incredibly useful for one simple reason. You can't secure what you can't see. If someone has plugged a rogue device into your network, a spy camera, a hidden access point, an unauthorized phone, Fing will show it to you. The app also has some advanced features if you want to dig deeper, like port scanning and device tracking. For home users and small businesses, Fing is probably the most practical tool on this entire list. It's free, it's easy, and it works. Zanti, the mobile penetration suite. Now we're getting into serious territory. Zanti is a mobile penetration testing toolkit from a company called Zimperium. It's been around for years, and it remains one of the most complete security suites available for Android. Zanti lets you map your network, scan for vulnerabilities, and even simulate real attacks, all from a touch-friendly interface that looks nothing like a boring terminal. That's actually its superpower. Tools like this are usually command-line monsters, but Zanti wraps everything in a clean visual interface. One of its headline features is the man-in-the-middle module. This lets you intercept traffic between devices on your network and analyze what's being sent. When you're testing your own network, this shows you exactly how exposed your data is. If a device on your network is sending passwords in plain text, Zanti will show you. There's also a companion tool called Zips that detects attacks against your device, so the same company covers both sides, offense and defense. Chapter 6, CSploit, Advanced Testing Framework. CSploit is a name that might not ring a bell to beginners, but in the security community, it has a solid reputation. It's an open-source framework that brings advanced penetration testing to Android. What sets CSploit apart is the depth of its features. We're talking network mapping, port scanning, packet analysis, man-in-the-middle attacks, and a whole lot more all packed into one app. It's built on the same ideas as famous desktop tools, but designed specifically for mobile. The packet analysis feature is particularly interesting. You can capture network traffic and inspect it packet by packet, which is how you find the weak points in a network security. This kind of deep inspection is exactly what professional auditors do when they're hired to test a company's defenses. One honest warning, though, CSploit is not for absolute beginners. If you're new, you'll get a lot more value from Zanti or Fing first. Come back to CSploit once you understand what you're looking at. Chapter 7, Interceptor. NG Traffic Sniffer. Next up is Interceptor NG, a tool built for one specific job: capturing and analyzing network traffic. Here's how it works. When devices on the same Wi-Fi network talk to each other, that data travels through the air. Interceptor NG puts your device in a position to see that traffic, then lets you dig into it. You can see what domains devices are visiting, what data is being exchanged, and whether any of it is unencrypted. For security testing, this is gold. Unencrypted traffic on a modern network is a red flag. If you find a device that's sending sensitive information without encryption, you've found a vulnerability that needs fixing. The ethical line here is very clear. Intercepting traffic on your own network to improve security, absolutely fine. Intercepting someone else's traffic without their knowledge, that's a crime in most countries. Use it on networks you own, and you're doing exactly what the tool was made for. Chapter 8, Droid Sheep. The Session Hijacker. Droid Sheep is a fascinating and slightly scary tool. It was famous years ago for demonstrating one of the biggest security problems in Wi-Fi session hijacking. Let me explain the concept simply. When you log into a website, the server gives you a session cookie, a small piece of data that says, "This user is logged in." Droid Sheep listens to network traffic, grabs those cookies as they travel through the air, and lets an attacker use them to impersonate the real user. No password needed. The reason this works is that, in the old days, many websites sent these cookies over unencrypted connections. Modern websites are much better about this, which is why Droid Sheep isn't as effective today as it used to be. But the lesson it teaches is still incredibly important. That lesson? Never trust an open Wi-Fi network. If you connect to a free hotspot at a coffee shop, anything you send could be visible to everyone around you. That's why security professionals always use a VPN on public networks. Droid Sheep is an educational tool that proves why that advice exists. Chapter 9, Wi-Fi. Kill, the network bouncer, Wi-Fi. Kill has a dramatic name, but What it actually does is simpler than you'd think. It lets you cut off internet access for specific devices on your Wi-Fi network. How does it work? The app sends de-authentication packets to a target device, which tricks it into disconnecting from the network. It's the same technique used in denial of service attacks, but on a small, local scale. Now, let's be straight about the uses here. On the legitimate side, a network administrator might use something like this to kick a rogue device off the network, or to enforce bandwidth limits during critical times. Parents might use it to cut off a kid's internet at bedtime. Those are the reasonable scenarios. On the other side, someone could use it to annoy neighbors or disrupt a business's Wi-Fi, which is illegal. And honestly, petty. This is one of those tools where the intent behind the use matters more than the tool itself. It requires root access on most devices, so it's not something the average person will even get working. Chapter 10. WPS Connect. Testing Wi-Fi. Security. Let's talk about home Wi-Fi security now. WPS Connect is an app that tests one specific weakness, the WPS protocol. WPS, or Wi-Fi Protected Setup, was designed to make connecting devices to your router easier. You press a button on the router or type a PIN, and your device connects. The problem? The WPS PIN system has a known flaw that makes it possible to guess the PIN in a relatively short amount of time. And once someone has the PIN, they effectively have the password. WPS Connect checks whether the networks around you, or more importantly, your own network, are vulnerable to this attack. It's an eye-opener for most people because the vast majority of routers have WPS enabled by default. The practical advice from using this tool is simple. Log into your router's settings and disable WPS unless you genuinely need it. Also switch your Wi-Fi security to WPA2 or WPA3. WPS Connect is a reminder that convenience features in networking often come with a security cost. Chapter 11. Andro Rat, the remote control tool. Now we're getting into the tools that people love to ask about. Andro Rat stands for Android Remote Administration Tool, and it does exactly what the name says. It lets you remotely control an Android device. Once installed on a device, Andro Rat can read call logs, access text messages, see the GPS location, take photos with the camera, record audio with the microphone, and even send commands to the device. It's essentially a remote control for a phone. Here's where I need to be very clear, because this is the tool that gets people in trouble. Installing Andro Rat on someone else's phone without their knowledge is a serious crime in almost every country. It's spyware, plain and simple. The legitimate uses are real, though. Companies use remote administration tools to manage their own fleets of devices. Parents can use parental control apps that work on the same principle. If you lose your phone, remote administration lets you locate it or wipe it. The difference is consent. On your own devices or devices you're responsible for, remote administration is a normal IT practice. Anywhere else, it's illegal. Chapter 12. Hackcode, the all-in-one toolkit. Hackcode is one of those apps that security students love because it crams a ton of tools into one simple interface. It's not the most powerful app on this list, but it's one of the most convenient. Inside Hackcode, you'll find tools for pinging hosts, scanning ports, checking DNS records, doing basic reconnaissance, and even some password-related utilities. It's like a starter kit, everything a beginner needs to understand the basics of network security without jumping into complicated terminal commands. Think of it as the training wheels of the hacking world. You use Hackcode to learn what reconnaissance feels like, what port scanning shows you, and how DNS lookups work. Then, when you're ready, you graduate to tools like Nmap and Metasploit for the real work. For someone studying cybersecurity or preparing for certifications, Hackcode is a great way to practice on the go. It's proof that you don't need a gaming laptop to learn this stuff. A phone is enough to get started. Chapter 13. SSH Droid, your phone from anywhere. SSH Droid takes your Android device and turns it into an SSH server. If you know what SSH is, you know how powerful this is. If you don't, here's the simple version. SSH, or Secure Shell, is the standard way professionals connect to remote computers over the internet. It's encrypted, It's secure, and it lets you run commands on another machine as if you were sitting in front of it. With SSH Droid, your phone becomes that remote machine. From your computer, you can connect to your phone, browse its files, run commands, transfer data, and manage it, all over an encrypted connection. This is a lifesaver for IT professionals who need to manage devices from a distance. For example, imagine a colleague's phone is acting up and they're in another city. With SSH access, you can connect, check logs, install updates, or move files without ever touching the device physically. It turns remote support from a headache into a 2-minute job. Chapter 14. Bonus. PC Droid plus HTTP Toolkit. I promised you 14 tools, but let me give you a bonus, because you've made it this far actually. 2 quick ones that work great together. PCAP Droid is a network capture tool that records all the traffic coming from your own phone. You can see exactly what apps on your device are sending and receiving, which domains they're talking to, and whether that data is encrypted. It's like a wiretap on your own apps. HTTP Toolkit goes a step further by letting you intercept and inspect HTTP and HTTPS traffic, and even modify requests before they're sent. This is how penetration testers find bugs in mobile apps. They capture the app's traffic, tamper with it, and see if the server accepts the tampered data. These 2 tools are perfect for mobile app security testing. If you're learning how to assess the security of Android applications, this pair is your starting point. Outro. And that's the list: 14 tools, plus a few bonuses that can turn your Android phone into a real security testing device. From Termux and NetHunter to network scanners like Fing, each has its place. Remember, these tools are double-edged. Professionals use them to find and fix vulnerabilities, while criminals can misuse them. The tool isn't the problem, the intent is. Use this knowledge responsibly, protect your own devices, and build skills that can lead to a real cybersecurity career. If you enjoyed the video, hit like, share it, and subscribe for more cybersecurity content. And tell me in the comments which tool surprised you the most. Thanks for watching, stay curious, stay ethical, and I'll see you in the next one.